key issues that are going on in Florida, with the discussion about the efforts to provide former felons with the right to vote. This has been an issue that's been going on for a long time, and really a lot of progress was made under the former Republican governor, Charlie Crist, during his tenure from 2007 to 2011, where he was able to increase, provide access to voting for 150,000 former felons. However, that was really curtailed in the 8 years of Republican Governor Rick Scott. He only granted a voting restoration to 3,000 felons, and his procedures for reviewing the voting records of these individuals was considered so severe that it was ruled unconstitutional. So in 2000, and during, let me back up, during that time, the number of disenfranchised Floridians grew from 150,000 to an estimated 1.6 million voters. So there's a lot of reasons why that has happened in Florida. However, it was really instrumental to getting a lot of people to agree in 2018 to efforts by the Floridians for fair democracy to get an amendment to the Constitution, Amendment 4, on the 2018 ballot. That ballot passed uh, with 65% of the vote in Florida, and it was expected to be a very successful in getting potentially up to 1.4 million Floridians. But of course, it's met a lot of Republican opposition. There was the sense that went around that this would have definitely given an advantage to Democrats, and there was efforts in the state house the following year in 2019 to make these voters pay what are essentially poll taxes. Republicans did have concern to be that the increase in vote would be disadvantage to the Republican Party. On the last two governor our elections in 2018, there was such a very small difference between DeSantis and Andrew Gillum of the 8.1 million votes cast for governor. There was a 30,000 vote spread for DeSantis, and Rick Scott, who the former governor who paid, I believe, was 50 million of his own money for this Senate race, only won 10,000 votes over Senator Bill Nelson. So the Florida state legislature imposed several restrictions that basically required these individuals to find their fines and to pay them off before they're required to vote. The problem with this in Florida is there's no central area where the records of the fines of felons are kept. So every person has to go to any county in which they have a felon and to ask for what fines they are owed. The problem with that is also that the records are uneven, and there has been approximately 75,000 applicants in this election season who asked the counties in Florida for their records and did not get a response as well. So only 67,000 individuals were able to register to vote. This is also a problem with the major setback came with the Supreme Court. The governor and the state took this initiative to court. They lost a few times, but then the Republicans received a victory by a 6-3 decision by the US Supreme Court that said it was allowable for these fines to be imposed against the individuals who are seeking their right to vote back. So Florida really has a lot to do with overcoming the administrative penalties and roadblocks that are being imposed on these issues. One thing is people are talking about the Black voter turnout in Florida and wondering, is enthusiasm an issue? But another thing to think about is how many of these voters could have made a critical difference in key um, voting grounds. And if, lying the blame for a possible loss of Florida and not look at all the efforts that the state is making to ensure that, up to 1.5 million people cannot vote because of poll tax. And we really should start calling what they're doing in Florida a poll tax. I think even calling what people do to prevent Blacks from voting in Florida around the country, voter suppression sounds too clinical, and it should be called cheating because that's exactly what it is. So thank you. I'll let the next person go.